whatever skill, whatever knowledge that you have, it becomes obsolete after 5 years, right? So to me, for me to stay up to date, my network is really, really important. And it's also...
How do you handle stress?
Stress, whatever products that you're selling, you will never sell a product for everyone. Even chocolate is not for everyone.
Okay.
Right? So
if you were a beverage, which beverage would your personality represent and why?
If I was a beverage, I would say I'll be tea.
Hello guys, welcome back to Make Your Own Destiny podcast, the podcast that inspires you to shape your future. Talking about shaping your future, there's one skill that's very important and I think everyone should have it. And that skill is sales. You need to know how to sell, because if you're not selling, then you are being sold to all the time. I remember there's a book that I read. It's called Sell or Be Sold by Sabri Subri. It's a very nice book. If you haven't read it, I recommend you to go and read it, and I'll put the link to that book down in the description below. It's going to give you a lot of insights about selling, how to sell. Some people are selling products, some people are selling themselves. At the end of the day, you need to know how to sell a product or to sell yourself in the job market. You might ask me, I don't do business, I don't have anything to sell, so why should I learn sales? It's because at the end of the day, even if you are employed, you need to know how to sell yourself to your employee. That's very important. Let's say you want to start a relationship. You need to sell yourself to your partner. You need to know what you have to offer. If I give you this cup right now and I tell you, sell me this cup, you should be able to convince me to buy this cup right away. So that's how important sales is. Without sales, there's no life. Without sales, you cannot make money, you cannot do anything. You'll just be lonely. You won't have friends, because you need to sell to your friend that you are worth it, being their friend. So it's very important to know how to sell. So today's guest is very special, and she's a sales expert, and she works with, I can say, the best brand in the world. If not the best, it is by far the most known brand in the world. It's because whenever I see red, I think of Coca-Cola. There's no one in this world, I believe, who doesn't know about Coca-Cola. No matter how remote you go, no matter what village you go to in Tanzania, you will find Coca-Cola. And she is a commercial director of Coca-Cola, but she has a lot of interest in sales, and also she is, I can say, a philanthropist, because she runs several organizations, NGOs, I mean. So we have Fatma Mnaro. Before Fatma Mnaro introduces herself, we have a lot to share with her. First, if you like this kind of guests in our podcast, please like this video, subscribe, and turn on the notifications, because whenever we upload, you'll be the first one to get our videos. It supports us a lot when you subscribe, because this video will reach a lot of people just by you liking it and subscribing it. Fatma, you're welcome.
Thank you so much.
How are you doing?
I am well, thank you.
First of all, you had troubles in finding our studio.
It happens. But we're here, and I'm just inspired by what you guys do on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
And the fact that you and Monty and the rest of the team are also inspiring the younger generation to, be very ambitious and to also attain their goals.
Yeah.
To me, that's really important. So thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Thank you for making time out of your busy schedule to come here and talk to the youth. I hope you who is watching right now will enjoy this, because, as I said, we have a lot to share. And stay all the way to the end, because there is a lot of value that will be shared today. Take a notebook, write down notes so that you won't miss anything that will be talked about today. So without further ado, for people who don't know you, because I just gave a very short introduction about you, who is Fatma Mnaro?
So Fatma is a very passionate commercial leader.
Okay.
Who is driven by a very deep desire to make a very positive impact in the community.
Okay.
My journey started when I was about 15, and my parents back in Arusha, they are the ones that introduced me to business at a very young age.
Okay.
I worked in the shops during holiday seasons. I used to work with them, and at one point in time, I was running their businesses.
Okay.
And later on, I have had the privilege and the blessing to work with multinational organizations such as SAB, ABI. I've also worked for Heineken, Coca-Cola. I'm now also sitting in different boards, including Celcom as a non-executive board director.
Okay.
I'm also in African Reflections Foundations as a board director, as well as a vice chair. And when it comes to family, I am a mother of 3 and also a wife of 1. I have to emphasize on that. a wife of 1, and I'm also a daughter, and I'm also the eldest of 3.
Okay.
And yeah, so that's me in a nutshell.
Yeah. Behind the camera, we talked about you having a passion for law.
Yes.
But then you're not pursuing law anymore. You are a business leader, I can say. So what motivated you to transition from having a passion of law to being a business leader?
Life happens, and I think that even to the youth that are also watching, they should also know that not everything that you aspire to be or you want to be, or the goals that you have, will be attained. But the only thing that has to remain is the values that you have for yourself and for the people that surround you. Okay. So I did have a passion for law, but unfortunately there were some circumstances that I encountered that changed the course of my life, of which I had to change my course. At that point in time, I was applying for university. So I had to change the course, and I had to apply for a business related compared to what I wanted, which was law.
Okay.
So it was a personal experience, and unfortunately, I did not pursue law. But the thing is that even by not me pursuing law, I would say I still practice law in one way or another when it comes to the values that I have as a person. Integrity, good sportsmanship. So to me, that's really important, and they are embedded in the aspiration of being a lawyer, because I believe that even lawyers have to have ground, a foundation, which should be the values that I've mentioned. Yeah.
When in Chaga?
Napana.
You said you're from Arusha.
Yeah, I'm from Arusha, but I'm a Pare.
Oh,
yes.
You're a Pare.
Yeah.
Do you have a shop?
Do I have a shop?
Yeah.
So back at home, my parents do.
Okay.
Yes.
So Chagas and Pare, do they have some kind of relationship? How are they related, the two?
They're both from they're tribes both from Kilimanjaro.
Okay.
So that's how they are related in one way or another. Yeah. So
who has been the most significant influence in your career? Like, what inspired you?
I'd say that my parents, as I said, I come from a background which is my parents were business people, are still. they are still business man and woman, and they are the ones that have really inspired me when it comes to business, building me up when it comes to resilience as a business person. When it comes to relationships, they are the ones that have set that foundation. But again, in the course of my career, I've also met lots of people that have also inspired me in one way or another. And I would say that one of them would be my mentor.
Yeah.
I can't mention the name, but
Okay.
I have several mentors,
Okay.
and they have really inspired me.
Yeah.
And they have given me the direction when it comes to my career, when it comes to challenges that I face in my career or in life in general. They have been helping me out in one another.
Not everyone has the privilege of having mentors in their life, but you said you have a mentor.
Yeah.
So what role does a mentor play in someone's career? For example, in your career, how has having a mentor helped you to reach where you are right now?
So when it comes to mentors, they provide you with guidance, they provide you with advice. They also provide you with the support when you are navigating most of the time the challenges that are just evident in your day-to-day activities or your day-to-day life. So to me, it's that mentors are really important. And when it comes to choosing your mentors, you first need to be self-aware. You need to understand who you are as a person. What is it that you need to do to get to where you want to be before you choose a mentor? Because there are so many mentors out there. But when it comes to choosing a mentor, you need to be very self-aware before you choose one.
For people who don't have mentors, how do you get to have a mentor that, okay, this person will be my mentor? How do you get to have such kind of people?
So getting a mentor, as I mentioned, the first thing is that you need to know yourself. You need to be very self-aware. And you need to also have a set of values as a person that regardless of what it is that happens in life, then those are the values that will anchor you in your life or in your career. And then once you do that, you'll then have to identify the people who are close to you. It could be your parents. It could also be your line managers. It could be people that you see, let's say, online. I would say that go for it. Sometimes you might be afraid to just reach out to a person that you believe that has the same set of values that you have, and they are in a space that you want to be. Just reach out, and you'll be surprised that most of them are just human beings that are willing to mentor people. So yeah, just go for it.
It's very good to have a mentor. And I always talk about this, that when you want to be mentored by someone, first of all, you have to make sure yourself, what value do you have to offer to that mentor? For someone to accept to mentor you, because people have a lot to do. People have their busy schedules. And the first nice step that you can take to find a mentor is offering yourself to work for free for that person, so that you can learn a lot about what he does. Because a mentor might not be your relative. It may just be someone you met down the street. So you need to have value in yourself to get value out of someone. So that's very important. Before you find a mentor, you have to think about, what do you really have that you can offer? You have to give to receive. That's very important. So we talked about Coca-Cola, and you are a commercial director for Coca-Cola, which is a very big company, as I said in the introduction. So can you tell me more about your current role at Coca-Cola? What do you exactly do there?
Okay, so when it comes to what I do, my role is to ensure that the commercial strategies and sales strategies are in place and are sustainable.
Okay.
And I also lead a team.
Yeah.
And my role with that is to make sure that my team is motivated and engaged when it comes to fulfilling our goals as a company.
Okay.
So that's basically it when it comes to the role that I play.
Okay.
But going deeper, it's that I, together with my team, have to set in strategies when it comes to route to market, how we get to our customers and consumers.
Yeah.
We need to also build the capability in-house of the sales, as well as the marketing team. The other part is that we are also the knowledge and insight anchors for the organization. So we are the ones that provide the insights from the market, so that the business can also make well-informed decisions.
Okay.
Yeah.
So from the way you are talking, you mentioned the word team so many times, and that got me curious on how important is it on working as a team.
Everybody has a value.
Yeah.
And it's through teamwork that value can be harnessed.
Okay.
Any leader needs to be able to harness that value from each of his team members.
Yeah.
So that's why I believe in leadership. I believe in servant leadership, whereby leaders are there to guide. They are there to make sure that their teams have the capability and skills to succeed in the company.
Apart from the job that you are doing right now, do you have any other projects that you are doing that you are passionate about?
So one of the projects or initiatives that we have right now is that I was appointed as the advisory director for a project called Tanzania Sales Hub, or Sales Hub Tanzania. So the Sales Hub Tanzania is a platform whereby it brings together sales professionals, entrepreneurs, when it comes to also sales enthusiasts. So you have your youths that are really inspired. They have the aspirations to also do sales in the future. So it's just there for them to collaborate, to learn and connect, because we understand that sales is the cornerstone of any business, and we want to develop the capabilities and skills for the sales professionals in the country. And that will also go hand in hand with another initiative called Women in Sales. We do understand that sales is somehow a cutthroat. It's more of a cutthroat, and in most of the companies you have women not really eager, or they're really not motivated to pursue sales. So Women in Sales will be another platform for women to be able to talk about the challenges that they are facing, and also be inspired by some of the leading women in sales in the country, and also help them navigate the challenges in their careers.
Why should people know how to sell?
So sales is a skill, and it's I would say that it's one of the most important skills, and everybody needs to have it. And not everybody is born knowing how to sell, but you can learn how to sell. And I remember back in the day when we were taught about, let's say, your way for sales, how you interact with people, what you say, what you don't say to your customers or to your clients. And when it comes to the questions that you also ask your customers. So it's a process when it comes to selling. And those principles in sales actually guide you in your day-to-day life. So to me, sales is really important. And for anybody that you even a bank teller, you should know how to sell. And, it cuts across all spheres of life. That in your relationships, in, as you said, your relationships, you need to know what to say, when to say it, how to say it, and sales gives you that skill.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Sales Hub Tanzania initiative, will it be for everyone or just women? Because I saw you mention that you want more women to know about sales.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Sales Hub is for everyone. Sales Hub Tanzania, it's for everyone. It's just that when it comes to women, they are not, especially in let's say industries
Yeah.
that are male dominated. You have that women are really, there are very few women who pursue sales.
Okay.
Because if you're in a male dominated industry, and then in the sales department, you find that even very, very few women will go into sales, because that's it's almost the hardest part about any business. So not a lot of women are motivated to go into sales. So you have very few engineering consultants pursuing sales. You have very few women in sales, let's say in the oil and gas.
Okay.
You have very few women in sales in the alcohol industries.
Yeah.
So those are the people that we say that this is also for you. This is also a safe haven for women to connect and network, and to also be motivated by other salespeople in the industry. So Sales Hub is for everyone.
There's a very famous movie called The Wolf of Wall Street. Have you watched it?
No, I've not.
Yeah, it's a movie played by Leonardo DiCaprio, the main character, but it's a biography for a guy called Jordan Belfort. He was an American who was a salesperson, but in the stock market, especially Wall Street. So he was selling shares to people. Yeah, so he made millions just doing that, selling company shares to different people, mainly in the American economy. So right now, he's a teacher. He does shows all over the world, teaching people how to sell. And he has a very famous question that he approaches people. He always takes out a pen and he gives you, yo, sell me this pen. Yeah, and he wants you to convince him to buy that pen. So that brings me to my question. For someone who doesn't know how to sell at all, how does he sell something, he or she? Let's say he wants to sell this phone, this iPhone. What's the process?
Okay, so the first thing that you need to know is you need to know your product. What is it that you're selling? And for some, you might want to start with a product. For some, if you're, let's say, employed, you need to know your products first, because you sometimes do not have influence over the product.
Yeah.
For those who are, let's say, innovating a product, before you sell, you then have to understand your market. You need to understand the market dynamics, the consumers that you're going to sell the product to.
Yeah.
And then once you know your product, once you know then you should know your the market that you're also going to sell to.
Okay.
You need to understand, to have insights of not just the market but your targeted market, because whatever products that you're selling, you will never sell a product for everyone.
Yeah.
Even chocolate is not for everyone.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? So you should know how to segment your market and know that this is the part of the market that I'll be able to sell to. That will help you analyze your resources and to know where to prioritize going forward. So as a salesperson, I would say that you need to know your products, you need to know your customers or your consumers, and you'll take it from there.
In short, sales first is all about research and knowledge.
Yes.
So you need to know your product.
Yes.
And you need to know who you are selling it to. So how do you get them to buy it?
So once you know who you're selling it to, then you'll know how you sell it. You sell them, because how you sell an iPhone to a student, let's say, is quite different from how you sell it to a CEO.
Okay.
So once you know who you're selling it to, it's easier for you to know how to sell it, because that's where you have your strategy.
Okay.
On how is it that you'll be able to service your market. Yeah.
Motivation. Some people say motivation is not real. Discipline is everything. But at the end of the day, to be disciplined, you need to be motivated. Yeah. But there are a lot of tough times that we go through in life that makes us lose all the motivation that we have, and therefore we cannot be disciplined in anything that we do. So you yourself, how do you stay motivated during tough times or setbacks that you face in life?
So from my end, motivation requires a combination of passion, resilience, and a positive mindset. And I believe that my inspiration comes from my goals, my values, as well as the people that I work with. And I never look at setbacks as just a challenge, but I look at them in a line of, they are opportunities for either to learn or unlearn, relearn, or it's an opportunity to grow. So that's how I stay motivated. So every chance that I get, when it comes to a setback, to me, I use it as an opportunity to celebrate it. I tend to celebrate small wins, as well as to also maintain a very healthy work life. Yeah.
That's very nice, because we all go through tough times. And what I've realized is, whenever you're doing something that is worth doing, you must face challenges.
That's true.
Yeah. If something is just easy, then it's not worth it. So if you're doing something right now and you don't have any setbacks, then there is something wrong in what you're doing.
Yeah.
I remember our previous guest, Helena. Shout out to Helena, by the way. She came here, she was wearing a t-shirt, and it's written, "There is beauty in the struggle." So whatever you're doing, if you're struggling, then there's beauty in the struggle. So you have to embrace it and you have to fix it. But at the end of the day, trust me, it's going to be worth it.
No, I agree. Let me just dive into that.
Yeah.
Growing up, I thought that struggling means that you're either doing something that's wrong,
yeah,
or you're in a wrong space.
Okay.
But I have grown to understand that challenges are constant,
yeah,
and they shouldn't phase you. They shouldn't make you feel that you are a nobody, or you're not worth it.
Yeah.
So just embrace the challenges that you're facing, and find ways to overcome those challenges. It starts with the mind. It starts with your mindset, and how you'll be able to overcome those challenges. I'd say that's really important.
And as believers, in our books, it's written that God does not give you a challenge that you cannot handle.
Very true.
Yeah. So whatever you get, you just have to work it out in your mind. How do I go through these challenges? But it's exactly your portion, and you can never fail.
That's very true. Yeah. I agree with that.
You are also a philanthropist, as I can call you.
Mm-hmm.
And you have what's called African Reflection Foundation.
Yes. I volunteer.
Yeah, you volunteer for that.
Yeah.
So I need to know what the mission behind the African Reflection Foundation and why is it so important to you?
Okay, so when it comes to African Reflections Foundation, I also give a shout out to Honorable Mary Yvonne, who is the founder of African Reflections Foundations, and she has steered the organization for more than 20 years in Tanzania.
Yeah.
And it's there to help women and youth.
Yeah.
When it comes to education, mentorship, entrepreneurship, and it's also to create opportunities for the younger generation,
okay,
so that they can succeed. One of the recent projects that we have embarked is the building of hostels for girls in Mkuranga,
okay,
which now we have more than 140 girls that do not have to travel long distances to go to school.
Okay.
So to me, that's really important, because then the girls can focus on education. And there was a couple of challenges that they were facing, due to the long distances. Some were being raped, or it's just sometimes it was just too discouraging for them to get to school. But we can say that we are helping them in Mkuranga through African Reflections Foundation.
How can individuals or companies as well contribute to those changes based on what you're doing with the African Reflection Foundation and other foundations that you're doing, such as Sales Hub Initiative and many more?
How you can positively contribute to social change. Number one is to prioritize sustainability.
Okay.
So if it's a business, if it's an NGO, it needs to be sustainable. It needs to be an initiative or a project that's for the long run. And then it has to be ethical.
Yeah.
So I strongly believe in ethical practices, be it in business or when it comes to non-profit. They all have to be ethical. And then the other part is that the social impact. What impact does it have to the community? So those to me would be the foundation for you to have a social change. And then it also, when it comes to individuals, I would say that look also into volunteering. You know, there are so many NGOs or companies that you can volunteer to work for, making a social impact. I would say that as an individual, instead of just staying back and saying that what is a company or what is the country doing for me, you should first ask yourself, what am I doing for my country? What is it that I have done so far that's bringing a social change in my community? Because most of the time we tend to believe that it's the country or it's a company that needs to make that change, but it starts with a person. It's one person who, if it's an idea or if it's something that you can do within your means, instead of asking, how can we, let's say, give out charity, but in your family, what have you done for the people that are closest to you before you even look at the bigger picture?
That's very important. I think I also said it previously that first thing that you have to do to get value, you have to offer value. Yeah. So instead of you thinking, what is Tanzania doing for me, or what's the government doing for me, you have to first think, okay, what am I contributing to the government? I remember the former president said it, Jakaya Mrisho Kikwete. He said it very well, that ukikubali kula lazima ukubali kuliwa as well. So to get, you must give, but you must give first so that you can get.
And just giving out an example, my personal example or my personal journey is that I believed so much, and I still do, I believe so much in making a change or a positive impact in the community.
Okay.
Whereby I remember asking my dad to help me out to get a position at UN.
Okay.
At that point in time, thinking that UN would be the only way that I would bring any impact in the community.
Yeah.
Because for me, making an impact at that point in time was, how can I help my community?
Exactly.
But I remember when I applied for positions, and then I got an internship at United Nations.
Yeah.
I was like 18 or 19, and to me, that's after working with UN, I came to understand that it's not about the organization that we work with. It's not about the company that you work with. It's the impact that you make within the organization and outside the organization.
Yeah.
So sometimes we have big dreams as youth.
Yeah.
You want to, let's say, work for multinational organizations. It's good.
Yeah.
But as you are getting there, just ask yourself, what is it that I'm doing now that that's actually impacting my community?
Okay. Yeah. So it's all about what are you doing right now.
Yeah.
So the days count always.
Exactly.
Yeah. You have worked for very big companies.
Mm-hmm.
I would say multinational conglomerates such as Coca-Cola, Henking, and etc. So what are the key lessons that you have learned from working with these kinds of companies?
So working with multinationals has taught me the importance of global thinking. Mm-hmm. And it has also taught me about cultural sensitivity as well as the strategic agility. I think that those are the key things that I have been able to learn from working with multinationals. So when it comes to multinational companies, they give you a prelude to learning about how you operate in diverse markets, multicultural environments. It also helps you to build very strong relationships with your stakeholders in the market, in and out of the country.
Yeah.
It also helps you to gain valuable insights in and out of the country, external and internal insights from the market. And it's also you learn how to make I would say data-driven decisions compared to some of the companies.
If you would have chosen a different career path other than working in these kind of companies, what would it be and why?
A different career, I would say that being an entrepreneur. Okay. And that's the foundation that I have, working in a family business. And I have seen how you can be very innovative as an entrepreneur, come up with your ideas, and to also execute at a small or large scale. If I was not where I am today, I would be an entrepreneur.
So if you were an entrepreneur, you would consider yourself as successful already, because that's what your passion is all about.
Yes.
Yeah. So how do you define success? Because success means different depending on who you ask. For example, I once asked one of my mentors, what is success to you? He told me that for him, success is based on health, wealth, love, and happiness. So if he has all those 4 stuffs in his life, he is successful. And for him to be happy, which is the last quality, he needs to have wealth, and he needs to be healthy as well. And then he needs to have some love around him, which is family and friends. Then the happiness will come. So how do you define success, both professionally and as a person?
So to me, success means that you're living a fulfilling and meaningful life.
Okay.
And I would piggyback
Yeah.
on what your mentor has said.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to professionally, I would say that being successful to me professionally means that my goals, as well as I am fulfilling, I'm attaining my goals,
Yeah.
and also making an impact.
Yeah.
So to me, that's being successful
Okay.
professionally. But when it comes to personal, I would say that building relationships, my personal relationships, and maintaining those healthy relationships,
Okay.
and to also, finding joy in the little things in life. I would say that that to me, that's success.
We talked about you having a family, one husband, and 3 kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you consider that as success for someone like me who hasn't started a family yet?
It is. And not just having a family, but having a thriving family, because the health of your children, their well-being is success. So to me, when my kids are healthy, they're doing what's supposed to be done, and they are also, when it comes to school, they are doing well in school. They are also, living fulfilling lives, because I believe that all my kids have a purpose. So for me as a parent is to ensure that they actually fulfill their God-given, purpose. So that's important.
Yeah. How old is your first child?
She's 10. She's 10. Yeah.
The second one?
The second one is 8, and the third one is 5.
Oh.
Yeah. It's 2 boys and 1 girl.
Okay.
Yeah.
Having that balance between the work that you do and family is very difficult, I suppose, because most of the time you should be at work, not at home.
Yeah.
How do you find that balance between work and life and family?
Yeah. I wouldn't call it balance, because you just have to give it 100 when you're present.
Okay.
When I'm at home, I want to be fully present and to ensure that I enjoy those moments with my kids. And when I'm at work, then I also give it 100%. There will be sometimes you would, let's say you spend more time with the family, less at work, and then at times you have to spend more time at work compared to family. So it's not a balance per se, but it's just, to me, it's just important that I am present, fully present, when I'm either at work or at home.
I asked you that because most people right now, they can't find that kind of balance between the stuff that they're doing, and it gets overwhelming. That's why you find there are a lot of studies that says, like the other day I read, it was saying 90% of Tanzanians have mental health issues. It's because people have a lot going on in their heads that they cannot find solutions to. So what's your take on mental health?
First of all, mental health is a critical issue for leaders and individuals as well. And I would say that it's essential to prioritize self-care and also well-being. And from my end, I believe that, creating a supportive and inclusive work environment is really important for employees to feel comfortable to discussing, mental health concerns, and to also encourage open communications.
Okay.
You have to have an open dialogue as a company. Be transparent on what is it that people are facing in companies. Stress management is also very important. Access to mental health resources is also very important.
Yeah.
And I have been lucky, and I've been blessed to work with multinational organizations whereby mental health is really important. So you have open, so you have platforms that employees can go to talk about mental health, talk about talk to people, anonymously about their struggles, their personal struggles, because ultimately, your personal life is linked to your professional life. So you can't have, you can't say that you have a very unstable personal life and then you have a thriving career. It just goes hand in hand, and mental health comes in place.
One of the things that leads to people having mental health problems is stress. It's a very big issue. So do you get stressed from time to time? And if you do, how do you handle stress?
Stress, as we talked about challenges. The moment you face challenges, it's either you get stressed about it or you think about, okay, now what is the solution? So to me, stress management is critical. It's very important for, especially in the corporate world. You need to, as I said, take care of yourself. Stress management, it could be from, you're in a meeting, something is very stressed, something has just stressed you out, go for like a 5 minute walk and then come back to therapy. So it's different. It depends on the level of stress that you're also going through.
You have worked for a lot of companies that deals with beverages. There are a lot. The likes Coca-Cola. They have a lot of beverages, a lot of line from water to carbonated soft drinks. You have worked with Heineken, which they have Desperados, they have Heineken, and a lot more. So, if you were a beverage, which beverage would your personality represent, and why?
If I was a beverage,
yeah,
I would say I'll be tea. I'll surely be tea.
Okay.
And why did I choose tea? It's because tea is, I'd say that it's timeless.
Okay.
And tea has been there for hundreds and hundreds of years.
Okay.
And we still consume tea.
Yeah.
And there might be so many, consumer trends, a shift in consumer needs, but tea remains solid.
Yeah.
And to me, I believe that I'm more of an old soul.
Yeah.
And that's why I chose tea.
Okay.
Yeah.
Talking about tea, I've lived in Turkey for more than 4 years, and what I realized is the Turkish people, they praise tea so much in such a way that whenever they eat any kind of food without tea, the meal is incomplete.
Okay.
So from breakfast, lunch, dinner, there must be tea. So when you mentioned tea, it really got into my head.
Yeah.
Like, tea is the real deal.
There to stay.
So on your daily works that you do, if you could have any superpower to assist you in your daily works, what would it be?
I would say that to understand people much better. I believe that understanding people makes your life easier. So understanding your customers, understanding your employer or your boss, understanding yourself. So to me, if I was to choose a superpower, it would be the ability to understand people, so that I'll be able to go with the demand. Yeah, what's demanded of me, because that will mean that with that superpower, that means I would also be understanding myself even much better, because I'm also a person.
Yeah, that's really nice. So winding up, we have a culture on this podcast whereby a guest leaves a question for the next guest without knowing who they are. And you will also have to answer the question from the previous guest. Yeah. So we have a club called Connectors Club, whereby people come together to connect so that they can learn, they can get those meaningful connections. We also bring different keynote speakers. For example, in our last event, we had Vuthis.
I was there.
Oh, really?
I was actually there. It was
nice.
awesome.
Yeah. We had different speakers based on our event. We once had Musa Zungu. We once had Deogratis Dejembi. So the question is, where do you see MYD podcast as well as Connectors Club in the next 5 years? Where do you see them? And after 5 years, would you be willing to come back here and share your insights then?
In front of me is MYOD. MYOD's goals for 2024. And I'd say that to me it's more than just a podcast. It's a movement, especially for the youth. And I see that in the next 5 years, you will be a movement for the youth. You'll be an independent voice for the youth, and for them to also gain inspiration. I would say that you know Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan, Joe Rogan.
And to me, it's like it's more of an independent media, and would see that. I expect that in the next 5 years, you would have grown to be more of an independent media, not just a podcast, whereby youths can also share their learnings, can learn and unlearn, and also, as I said, get inspiration from.
Okay. Yeah. And would you love to come back?
I would really love to come back. I hope that by then I would have gotten all the experience in doing a podcast.
Okay, so if you want Fatma to come back the next episode, just comment down below Fatma and let us know, what do you want Fatma to talk about in the next episode. And also, if this one gets at least 500 likes, Fatma will come back. Yeah. You said you attended our last event, Connectors Club event with Vusi Thembekwayo. So why did you decide to attend, first of all, and what impact did it have to you, and what do you have to say to the people who didn't attend?
I'll start with the last one. For anybody who missed that event, missed a lot. And to me, Vusi is one of those people that I also look up to. He's an inspiration, especially for Africans, and how he has been able to build his businesses. It's very inspirational, and so I look up to him, and so that's the reason as to why I attended. And what is it that I learned from Vusi when he came in as an entrepreneur or as a business person? He laid out some strategies that one can use when it comes to getting insights from the market and being able to also make decisions based off the insights that you have gotten, and also being able to come up with different strategies to either do business or sell in the market. So to me, it was really inspirational, I'd say.
What role does networking play in your life, and why should people network?
So the importance of networking. So Networking is important, especially in this day and age. And when it comes to networking, on my end, it has expanded my professional cycle. It has also opened doors to different and new opportunities in the market, in and out of Tanzania. And it has also given me an opportunity to learn a lot from other people.
Okay.
And they say that whatever skill, whatever knowledge that you have, it becomes obsolete after 5 years, right? So for me to stay up to date, my network is really, really important. And it's also through my network that I was also able to gain mentors and to also be a mentor to other people. So networking is really important.
So Fatma, we have talked about a lot of stuff, and from our conversation, I've noticed that you are a very outspoken person, because you told me before that this is our first podcast.
Okay.
But you have communicated very well. That kept me wondering about your background. Can you tell us how is your background and how did it shape you to who you are today?
I grew up in a family business, and it's instilled in me strong work ethics, as well as an entrepreneur spirit.
Okay.
And my early years exposed me to the complexities of business, and also when it comes to building relationships, how relationships are really important in business.
Okay.
And I would say that also the value of perseverance. As small business owners, you do not just give up. You keep fighting, I would say. So these experiences, combined with the education that I've gotten, have helped me, to who I am as a person today. And also the experiences that I have gained in the multinational in these multinational companies that I've worked with has also shaped me in one way or another.
Also, from our conversation, you are a leader and you seem to have a very holistic leadership approach. So how does that help you to integrate in different departments or cultures that you have been working with, since you have worked with a lot of multinational companies that operates in various cultures?
So a holistic leadership approach, it emphasizes on empathy, communication, and collaboration. So having that, I believe that building strong relationship based on trust and respect is really important. And that also understanding the needs and perspectives of other people and bringing them on the table, and being able to have an open dialogue and encouraging people to have an open dialogue. To me, it's just very important for any for the sustainability of any business or any organization, especially when it comes to improvement. You need to have those open dialogues for you to improve.
When you say open dialogue, does it relate to having free speech?
Yes, it's free speech, and also having with an open dialogue, that means that you are transparent as a business, as a leader. You're transparent enough to welcome the thoughts, and also people from different backgrounds can easily talk. They can talk and share their ideas. So to me, it's not just the speech, but they can freely share their ideas, and they feel welcomed.
So I know we have talked about a lot, but I still have a lot to talk with you, especially when it comes to sales, because as I said, you're a salesperson, but time, unfortunately, is not on our hand.
No worries.
So if people want to hear more about sales from you, then they should tell us. If they need a part 2, then we're going to do a part 2 if we get enough comments asking for a part 2.
Okay.
Apart from that, what are your final thoughts? What do you have to share with the audience that is important and I haven't asked about?
Okay, so I believe that MYOD is a podcast that targets the youths, and to me that's really important.
Yeah.
We need the youth of Tanzania to know that they are heard.
Yeah.
They should stay motivated.
Yeah.
And they should know that they can do whatever it is that they want to do. You know, in Tanzania, you can be whatever it is that you want to be, and we have a country that supports that. So to me, it's just encouraging the youth to go forward with their dreams and ambitions, and to just don't back down.
That's very important. What you just said, that you can be wherever you want to be, whoever you want to be.
Exactly.
Especially this time, during this leadership. If you do not become what you want to become during this time, I don't think if there will be any better time for you to do whatever you want to do.
Exactly.
So if you're watching this is a final call for you. Whatever you want to do, just start right now, because the time is now. There's no tomorrow. If you want to do a podcast like we're doing right now, if you want to be a leader, if you want to be a salesperson, start taking steps today, because there is no other better time to be alive than right now. Anyways, my final question is, what question are you going to leave for the next guest without knowing who they are?
So for the next guest, I would ask him or her, what do you think is the role of technology in Tanzania going forward?
Okay. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching this episode with Fatma, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much
for being here.
Thank you.
I hope I'll see you soon, and the audience will see you soon on another episode. So if you enjoyed watching this, let me know down below what takeaways have you gotten from Fatma, and the best takeaways that you provide, you'll get a shout out on the next episode. With that being said, like, subscribe, and comment down below what are your thoughts, and see you on the next one.
Thank you.